Hello, esteemed fans. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. A quick one for this discussion this evening. Of course, what prompted this discussion is based on the information I I saw via the comment section. So we had to discuss about the person of Simon Ekpa, what it stands for, and the current realities, the challenges, of course, he is confronted with, and what is expected of him. Prior to this time, there have been so many misconceptions and uh, misunderstanding about the person of Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. Some quarters believe that he is a Nigerian agent working for Nigeria to destabilize the cause of Biafra restoration. Some, of course, because of their uh, personal interests, believe that Simon Imagine might possibly dislodge them from relevance in the cause of quest for the Biafra agitation. And they felt threatened, and as such, uh, throw their weight using all possible means, propagandas, uh, censoring, in order to damn his spirit and eventually get him out of the track because they saw him as not just an enemy, but somebody who perhaps an opportunity who may want to render them irrelevant. But that notwithstanding, there are also people who believe that Simon Ekpa is the second station leader who steps in the shoe of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, after his extraordinary rendition down to Nigeria. Now, many people has the belief that he's just a mere social media ranting, who, of course, has no pedigree, who is just making noise, cannot garner any of support or people to rally around him and give him the support he needed uh, to emerge as circumstantial leader. But time, of course, has proven otherwise. And still counting in his credit. No doubt Simon Ekpa is a black sheep of the house. No doubt Simon Ekpa is a terror. Now I'm going to buttress my point because what I don't have to blame for those who believe that before now that Simon Ekpa has no pedigree, has no capacity. They misunderstood his gentility to be perhaps an act of cowardice, but time has proven them wrong. And this is the testimony, a living testimony for that matter, is a living testimony. And I will have to read it before I butcher it with some, of course, very reliable uh, words here today. You see, perhaps you might be in the same shoe with these people. You may have felt the same way they feel. Well, it is not out of place to feel the same way, but it will be out of place after several years of consistency and commitment to the cause of Biafra to still not be clear about your position of the person of Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. Yes, you may have hold several misgivings, misconceptions, misinterpretations about his person, about his values, about what he stood for, and about his commitment to the cause of Biafra, which so many persons or people doubted at the initial time. But this is one of those people who doubted at the initial time, but you don't have to blame them because there are so many news flying, peddling, being sponsored from different quarters, and you may not understand that if except you are very uh, intelligent and very understanding the times and these seasons, you are able to uh, design through the Spirit of God or through the inborn, of course, spirit within man that will tell you this is the true person and this one is genuine. So if you're trapped in such circumstances or dilemma, I may not have to blame you because many genuine persons were deceived or misconceived, has some ideas about the person of Simon Ekpa. Now I'm telling you without any ambiguity, of course, based on the testament of the Nigerian Defense Headquarters and the Chief of Defense Staff, Simon Ekpa is no doubt a terror to her perceived or to his perceived enemies. Now I'm going to read this uh, statements. It is a statement of fact. This is what, of course, at Chika Dibia. Chika Dibia made this statement about Simon. But you know, the word Chika Dibia presupposes that he is from the eastern region. Even the front Biafran territory, which Simon Ikpa is fighting, of course, to restore its sovereignty. But this was what he said regarding the person of Simon Ekpa, the current prime minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. And that will, of course, affirm and attest to the fact that no doubt he is the black sheep of the house. He have taken so many people by surprise and have remained consistent and committed to the cause he truly believed, and which he said it will be an honor even dying to ensure the restoration of Biafran state. Now, this is what Achika Dibia have to say. Achika Dibia K41 said 3 hours ago or thereabouts, he said, I was one of the people doubting Ikpa's capabilities. He said, I was one of the people doubting Ikpa's capabilities. But when I saw how determined he is, I started supporting him. Do you get that? Please listen again. Okay, he went further to say he really have Igbo spirit in his DNA. Resistance is Igbo identity. You see now? Prior to this time, they thought he's an efulefu. He's somebody who perhaps has some bloodline linked to other people who might not be true Igbo's illustrious sons. He said, you can see before he made this statement, you can understand the war within his heart going on about the person, the controversy surrounding the personality and person of Simon Ikpa in the heart, in the mind of Chika Dibia. You can understand. He said, I was one of those people doubting Ikpa's capability. So this is confession time. We are in a confession time, and the father is here to receive their confessions and eventually forgive them if that becomes necessary. I hope Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in Israel, will, of course, He is the Father who decides whether such persons will be forgiven. Well, it could be said the time of ignorance, the Lord forgives. But this is what, of course, has been running in the minds of millions of the supposed Biafran uh, people, or those who falls within the territory, defined territory, or the formed Biafran territory, who never believed that the man called Simon Ekpa could amount to anything, could become a circumstantial leader, not just a circumstantial leader, but now the face of the struggle. He is now the face of the struggle, as uh, undoubtedly you can see, whether you like his face or not. But the entire world, the entire community of nations is saying Simon Ekpa, including his perceived enemies or secret enemies or admirers, believe in this very, of course, position today. He said, I was one of those. You can imagine the level of critics, the level of the marketing, the level of injurious statements, propagandas that may have been sponsored by this same Chika Dibia concerning the man called Simon Ekpa. But eventually, he is having a shift, a dynamic shift, of course, uh, of position concerning the person of Simon Ekpa. He said, now he have acknowledged by this submission or confession. Let me not say something. It's a true confession, not submission, because um, he is not saying this. Flesh and blood has not revealed this to him, as the Bible will say. Flesh and blood. There are certain things that flesh and blood cannot reveal to you. He have seen through the inborn spirit that this man is truly a God sent. He is sent for this particular cause he is embarking on, and the spirit, flesh and blood have not revealed this uh, to Chika Dibia, and this is what he has to say again. He said, I was one of the people doubting Simon Ekpa's capability. You know what capability means? For those, we went to nice school. So if you want to know capability, please, Google is there to help you understand. He said he is doubting Ekpa's capability. What does that mean? Just wasting your time. It's not a force to reckon with. It's just wasting the time seeking opportunity to get to become popular and famous. Of course, using Simon Ekpa to cash out. This might be some words running through him. And unfortunately, some are still trapped in this dilemma today. But fortunately for him, or perhaps he is not confessing. But I would have loved to hear from him again. What were those things running through him? What negative thing have he said concerning Simon Ekpa prior to this time? Because it's a statement of fact and it's well boldly stated. From this, we can infer or deduct that from his statement that he was totally out against Simon Ekpa and whatever he represents or he claimed he is prior to this time, but only time has proven him wrong. And of course, flesh and blood has not revealed these details. It is hidden in secrecy, shaded in mysteries. And now the Spirit have revealed it to him. I say, I was one of the people doubting Ikpa's capability. But when I saw how determined he is, I started supporting him. So invariably, Simon Ekpa has gained more supporters and more members, and his church or ministry is growing. And hopefully, I don't know. Okay, let's see that. If Simon Ekpa is to run a church, which some believe that Biafra is their religion, And if Simon Ekpa is now the overseer of this religion, you know what that means? That that he's getting more members, and the ministry is moving to the permanent site. And because uh, nobody is preaching to them, but they are seeing the true realities. Of course, as my people do say, ade agwa oshinti na resula, ade agwa wangworo. Of course, na tika tika is the order of the day. He said he really have Igbo spirits in his DNA. He now realized that Simon Ekpa has Igbo spirits. The true Igbo man, the true identity of Igbo man does not betray his brother. So those who betrayed the cause of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are they not Igbos? But they have lost that true identity of an Igbo. I grew up, of course, I was privileged to see my grandfather, my maternal father. He told me about the true Igbo identity, the true core values of an Igbo man. That Igbo man is not driven by material quest. He cannot betray his own people or an innocent man because of monetary inducement or material quest. That is not what, of course, an Igbo man is known for. An Igbo man is just as the person is describing here. He said he really have Igbo spirit. How many of you have Igbo spirit watching me today? If you are from the Igbo race, how many of you will see money and will not betray the cause of their brother, will not betray their innocent brothers? Wherever you reside today, how many of you can be trusted? You see, Igbo do say, how many of you can be trusted? This is Chika Dibia saying this confession today. I was one of the people, just about 2 years ago. In fact, the entire internet was agog. The entire internet, hell was let loose against the person of Simon Ekpa. I began to ask, what exactly is happening? It seems some people are very myopic and perhaps are swayed by, of course, some unfounded realities or peddling of information unguided. But if you have the designing spirit, you'll be able to know. Of course, G Ganubi Nanke Ganoba, as my people do say. Now, do you have the spirit of an Igbo man? So, the spirit of an Igbo man, the ideology of an Igbo man is embedded in ingenuity, ideology, honesty, sincerity. When an Igbo man can be trusted for his honesty, and when he tells you that this is yes, it doesn't matter, you can come with your gun. Akadamba, what he owes you is just one bullet. But the realities are not today that, unfortunately, Igbo people are betraying the cause of their people. Look at what is happening. Both the so-called Ohanezes and all that. They're trading the integrity, they're trading the life and prosperity of their own people just for money, just for monetary endorsements, and what they stand to gain after you gain the whole world. And what else? Most of them who are acquiring wealth, they are no more. So, what value is that? So, I don't have to blame Chika Dibia because based on information available to him at of that time, and based on his level of understanding, or perhaps some in the class might be very dull. Not that they are not smart, not that they are not intelligent, but they needed time, of course, to get through certain, or to assimilate or comprehend, of course, whatever subject of discourse. But if they really find out the truth, they will stand by the truth. These are what, even in the Bible, in Jesus' time, of course, it was recorded that these are Thomas. We have Thomas. The Thomas have not left the world today. So they will see. Kai Hunanya. Let's just see this man. Maybe perhaps they are skeptic about his person and the way he emerged, of course, to become this circumstantial leaders, or perhaps may have been likened to be the Owaziri case and the rest of them who at the point, of course, of relevance, uh, disappointed become, unfortunately, disappointed millions of people who were followers or trusting them. They were stranded at the point. So he may have his reasons for doubting the person of Simon Ekpa, but if having received based on his position, he said, but when I saw, which means he had been observing, perhaps from afar, he had been monitoring the consistency, the commitment, determination, and the unwavering sagacity and unwavering determination and doggedness on the part of the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in Israel, and said, no, I have tested based on my own, of course, factors or evaluation that he is determined and is unwavering in his tenacity and commitment to the cause of Biafra. And as such, I will now start supporting him. So Simon Ekpa has gained more members, as I said, because of his transparency, committed and determinations, unwavering tenacity and doggedness, however odious and exacerbating, that the last 3 years have become a trial moment for him. And he has kept to and remained consistent despite several allegations and accusations. I mean, there are too many, of course, to survive, but he has proven that he is not just a circumstantial leader, but born for this very cause. Well, you might disagree with this position, but this, of course, is nothing but the realities based on what is happening today. And if Nigerian government and the politicians have known that Simon Ekpa even has this capacity, because even the Nigerian government underestimated his capacity and determination to this cause. What their target was, and the only person they believe was a nightmare or a threat, of course, to the unity of Nigeria, was the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, and every focus was on him. How do we get him down? How do we silence the cause of Biafra by getting uh, the leader, the one shouldering the affairs of the face of that struggle? Then Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, of course, they did all they could, and we learned that even one of the uh, Igbo man provided his own private jet to bring his own brother to the slaughter, to the place of slaughter. Well, it is not my own interest of discourse today. Only time, of course, will judge anyone. But then, these are the same Igbos who does not have the spirits or DNA of an Igbo man. Yes, he said he really have Igbo spirit in his DNA. Do you understand that statement? This is a very strong statement, and it is gravitating towards a point that his doubts about the commitment of Nnamdi Amazi Simon Ekpa, his capacity has been cleared. So you don't have to blame him sometimes. You see, he has been confused about the whole circumstances surrounding the rendition of Madam Nnamdi Kanu and the emergence of Simon Ekpa as the circumstantial leader at that particular time. Everything, everybody was confused about that. Is just a moment of complacency for those who believe in their own freedom and emancipation of their people. At that point, it was a very turbulent time. And whatever you make of that decisions defines where you stand today. For many who never believed in the cause of Simon Ekpa, championing the cause of Biafra, today are having a rethink. This is a testament to that fact. And I'm here reading it live and direct. It is not faked. Achika Dibia is saying this. I was one of the people doubting Ikpa's capability. Okay, if I may have some time to go through the word capability, perhaps that will give us a better understanding of what he meant about the person of course, Simon Ekpa. He said he doubted his capability. Permit me just okay. Let's look the word capability. Google capability. Okay, is this Google sleeping? Is Google? Have you gone to sleep? Huh? Okay, Google says the core competency is based on, okay, it's core competency. Okay, that is what he said. He said, you don't get the competency, you don't get the ability, you don't get the wherewithal, you don't get the charisma, you don't get the confidence. Of course, the shop absorber to absorb the cost of freedom fighting. This is what is this Simon Ekpa is perhaps is eating burger in Finland, and perhaps he's just seeking relevance and possibly with one this to happen, and it's quite unfortunate. But he have realized very suddenly that Simon Ekpa is not eating burger. He is determined. He's not seeking for relevance, but it is called for this very cause for those who still are doubting today. You may have doubt in the past, why in the past 2 years or more, but what is your position now regarding this person? And even the Nigerian government and the security defense headquarters doubted his capacity, his capability as well, the competency of Mazit Simon Ekpa to challenge the entire security architecture of the Nigerian state towards the quest or pursuit for the independent state of Biafra. So they have been taken aback. They are now seeing him as the black sheep. They never saw him as a threat to the existence of Nigeria. But today, of course, the reality perhaps is staring at us, and no one can deny the same reality. Just as Chika Dibia have said, he said he once doubted his capabilities, he once doubted his sincerity, he once doubted his technical know-how. He has a military background, and of course, he's a sport, it's a feed uh, personnel or track events. He has won medals, so he perhaps may have known the cost of preparing to win a crown, to win a medal, to win, of course, whatever you believe you are pursuing. So he's a goal-getter. You can't take that from him. And they have demonstrated that. And this has won the admiration of one of Chika Dibia, saying now he's now supporting him. Haven't seen, not just because of what people said, not just because of the rumors that were peddled, not just because of the what is happening, but he have seen for himself as just the woman beside this Samaritan well of Samaria said. I have heard, just as the people said, the communities of that woman of this by this river of Samaria, which says that we believe not because of what you said, but we have seen it. We have seen the Savior, not because of the rumors, not because of the sentiments, not because of your emotions, but we have come, we have seen, of course, who he is, and we have believed in his cause. Now, not just Chika Dibia, and at Pastor Dancy, even the pastors are now convinced, as he said here, at Pastor Dancy, of course, also agreed with the position of Chika Dibia. He said, even me too, but today I can. Of course, his determination, and I am proud of him. Even the pastors, of course, lost faith in the person of Simon Ekpa, but today he has seen reasons to say, I am proud of him. Do you get what exactly is happening? This has been running perhaps because of the information, some misformation, some misgivings about sponsored about the person of Simon Ekpa. But today, they are now believing that Simon Ekpa, he's proud of him. You see, as an Igbo man will say, if a son is well behaved, he said that that is a son, of course, of his father. But if he not behave well, nne ya ka o yiri, na him mother, na him mama he resemble. That they said this is a proud son of the Igbo, the real Igbo spirit or DNA. Well, what is your own perspective? Of course, I know you may have shared the same feelings, misgivings, of course, uh, head in that sort of course, despair or confusion, engulfed by the same confusion. Let me read the book of Joshua 2, verse 9. You see, I want to draw an inference there. You see, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. This is biblical account of what happened, of course, in the days of Israelites. These are histories, historical events. These are that happened on the surface of the earth, and it has to do with Jericho. On the way of the Israelites after the Exodus, of course, from Egypt, they are walking towards their own land or their promised land, the Canaan land. They came to the most fortified city of that time, the city of Jericho, and it becomes a barrier, an inhibition. And they say, how do we get over this wall? We needed to take this country down. We needed, of course, to break through this, despite the opposition, the obstacle. How do we get this? At it stands now, the Biafran struggle of restoration is in that point of desperation, is at that point of decision making or this moment of decision. How do we get out of this? How do we, of course, ensure that freedom comes? Of course, that will not come without a price, just as what happened. But this is the testament or a living testimony of what happened. Now, when Joshua sent, of course, received instructions to surround or march round the wall of Jericho, and it has a spiritual dimension. That is what I'm trying to say. It has a spiritual dimension. Freedom of man has spiritual dimension. And when God saw that man has lost its right to life by sinning in the Garden of Eden, it has spiritual connections. It has spiritual implications. When man lost the right to life to the devil at the Garden of Eden, now God saw that a price must be paid to redeem or restore, of course, that right that was lost. And that will not come without the shedding of blood. And not just the blood of the corrupt human nature. And God have to send his own son who has the DNA of incorruptible God, who has the DNA, the personality of God Himself, that have not been corrupted, because man blood cannot deliver man, because man has fell short of God's glory, and a price must be paid to restore the dignity, to restore that rights of humans to freedom. What was the target of the devil? It is this same freedom people are fighting today. The devil took away the freedom of man and brought man into bondage, into servitude, into oppression, having the right to oppress humans, having the right to detect for humans, taking away their glorious future, taking away and exchanging it with pain, agony, and death. As we are seeing today, man originally was designed to enjoy freedom and to have dominion over the entire creation. That dominion is freedom. To exercise that freedom without limitation, to exercise that freedom without being conditioned, to exercise that freedom without being, I mean, politically, economically silenced. You see, just as what is happening today. So, this freedom you are talking about has spiritual dimension. So, some persons might not believe that but that is true. Life, we are spirit beings, of course, living in a body or in a mortal body, housed in a mortal body. So, everything that happens concerning us has spiritual implication, just as I'm saying now. And for what's point of interest, he said, and the woman was the harlot. She was living a free life, running a hotel or restaurant. So, you know, the point of connection in every city, if you are new in any city, you know what it means. You either go to hotel to lodge and, of course, plan out your. So he was into hospitality or hoteling or whatever, and eventually have heard about the restoration of this Israel, the nation Israel, and the movement, of course, just as what is happening in the cause of Biafra today. For those who still believe, of course, that is the time for Biafra restoration. And the woman saw the mighty things that God have used Joshua to accomplish. Some persons never believed in the cause of Joshua and the capability of Joshua. But eventually, when they saw, they heard, and eventually, of course, history have it. And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord had given you the land. They have not marched into Jericho, but she said, I know that the Lord has given you the land. Which land? The land of Jericho. And that your terror is fallen upon us. What does that mean? The terror that the Israelites, without doubt, are terrors to their enemies. You see, whenever you mention Simon Ekpa, what does that sound? Terror. Just as the Nigerian defense chief said that the voice of the statement of Simon Ekpa is causing terror in Nigeria. So whenever you have Simon Ekpa sit at home, just as the 1 month lockdown is coming, what is he sending? He's sending the waves, seismic waves, hot waves of terror. And people begin to adjust. How do we do? How do we navigate this? It's a turbulent time for everyone. Of course, just as this Chika Debia and Pastor Dancy have said, he said, I know that the hand of the Lord is upon Simon Ekpa. I'm now proud of him. I'm now supporting him. Well, I may not ask of who is not supporting him, but that is not my interest. What I'm trying to tell you, what has been running in the minds of these people prior to the time when they disabused their minds and when they now saw the need to believe in the cause of Simon Ekpa uh, and his mission of restoring the Biafran sovereignty. He said, I know, they now knew against every doubt, against every misgivings, misunderstandings, and misconceptions surrounding the circumstance. He said, I now knew that the Lord has given you the land. So you can finish the rest if you so desire. And he said, your terror has fallen upon us. Whenever we hear Simon, if Simon, as Nigerian government and security operatives has affirmed, attest to the fact that Simon Ekpa is a terror. Yes, by their confessions and of most recent, that Simon Ekpa is causing a terror, is a menace. The word menace for those who go to school, but for we that go to night school, terror means menace means terror, terror. On a yegu, as my people they say, on a yegu, on a kego job. That is the name Simon Ekpa runs terror in the minds of the enemies. But he said, I know that the Lord has given you the land. And which land are we talking about? It is not longer the land of Jericho or the land of Israel. Of course, the land of Biafra restoration, of which Simon Ekpa believed he is the face of the Biafran struggle. What is your own argument or position regarding this? Do you still believe that Simon Ekpa is the face of Biafra struggle? Or do you still have some reservations or, of course, misconception about his person? Or do you still believe that he is working for Nigeria government, an agent of Nigeria government, and the same Nigeria is looking everywhere to get him down? No, are you following up? Or should I be very slow? What I mean is, what is your position about the person of Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in Israel? Do you still believe that he's the man for the job, the face of Biafra, or the agent of Nigeria, destabilizing the southeastern region and the economy of the eastern region? So, what is your own perspective regarding these realities? Well, of course, uh, the truth cannot be hidden. Though it might be covered for some time, but it will also be assumed naturally. It's a natural course, and the testaments or a testimony of Chika Debia, of course, could be the position of several millions of persons before they now change their mind. If you're one of those who have changed their mind regarding the person of Simon Ekpa, or perhaps you believe he has no capacity prior to this time, and now you are joining this new convert, or of course, um, as they would say, new intakes in this ministry of Woto Woto, or not Woto Woto, sorry, the ministry of the Simon Ekpa, um, ministry of Jehovah Sharp Sharp, not Jehovah Sharp Sharp. Um, what you can give any name that you believe that suits you, whatever be the case. I will, of course, as a final note or parting words, repeat the same statement made by Chika Dibia. Why I wet your own positions regarding this. I was one of the people doubting Ekpa's capabilities. But when I saw how determined he is, I started supporting him. This was the place that captured my attention. He said, but when I saw how determined he is, please, what are you seeing? I want to know via the comment section. What are you seeing? For you to see, you must be illuminated. You must be enlightened. You see, your vision, your capacity to investigate the horizon must be widened for you to see. I don't know what you're seeing, but this speaker said, but when he saw how determined, means he once thought that this man has no capabilities, but he now saw. So what you see, it is very difficult for you to be deceived. You might easily forget what you hear, but what you see means experience has a way of of course, getting to your subconsciousness and trigger certain nerves, or of course, linked to memory or the store record system. That is what we call it, trichotomic cells, who record events and history of what happens. It could be positive or negative. So you can not easily forget what you see. Just as those days in the village, sometimes certain imaginations will see. Of course, I have seen some ghosts. They say ghosts. Some people don't believe that you can see ghosts. Something, a human, a personality, or a spirit being in human personality might just pass, walk your way, and you see it. Some ghosts, you feel some ghost pimples and all that. So you can't forget such experience. What you see, you see, it's very difficult for you to forget. And one of those who also saw, who has the boldness, courage to also let us know, he said, even me too, which means there are legions, there are many. He said, who are you? He said, we are legions. These guys are legions. Those who never believed in the capability of Simon Ekpa. There are legions in this. He said, even me too. But today, I can. Of course, his determination, and I'm proud of him. Honestly, it's been an interesting moment. Of course, I am perturbed by this singular statement, and this have informed the reason why I wanted to interact with my audience. Of course, to know their own position regarding this, uh, would I say, controversial, most controversial personality, and most, of course, uh, determined personality in the person of Moses Simon. But he's one of the most controversial in the history of freedom fighting today. He has taken some unusual dimensions that have never been, of course, parts that have never been taken by any freedom fighter in the history of humanity. I think Simon Ekpa will remain a phenomenon, and will be discussed and read in the world of intellects, or within, of course, among the philosophers. Okay, it is quite interesting, honestly, and if we have the time, we will, of course, read out these statements here. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for being part of this discussion today. He said, okay, my person, you are what? For, oh, sorry. It seems, could it mean I needed some monocometer or what? Well, whatever be the case, of course, it's been an interesting moment. Thank you for being part of this discussion today. And I want to know more of what is your own position regarding the person, the mission of the man called Simon Ekpa has been revealed in this within the context of this discussion today. Thank you once again. Uh, it is night here from Nigeria, wherever you might be watching us. This is just okay, 21.74. You know what that means. And we do appreciate you for being part of this discussion today. We continue to, of course, come your way with more exciting and intriguing and informative uh, analysis here in Corewave TV. Corewave TV is where we share, of course, and analyze issues of importance as it borders on existence and, of course, continuity, economic, social, and political wise. Across the world and of interest to us. Don't forget to hit the like buttons, subscribe to this channel, share this video, let it go viral, and of course, turn on the notification buttons so that others will get to join us when next we are live or upload our videos. We have more exciting videos which you can take time, of course, to watch and get yourself excited and entertained and informed of the current realities of events. And of course, you get to know and sample opinions of individuals who were not censored, of course, to express themselves. Thank you once again, and good night from here.